which means that I'm endorsed by Apple to go and provide training and support to schools that want to embed and dig a bit deeper into using the iPad as a tool to deepen learning. And I'm going to hand over to Stu, who's manning the chat at the moment. Here he is.
Hi everyone, I'm Stu Young. I'm one of the Apple teachers here at Scope, one of the digital champions. So my role is supporting not only Mark with the RTC, but also supporting staff within PE and across the whole school in developing their implementation and embedding of the iPads into everyday life really in school. I'm also a head of year, so I get the pastoral side with the iPads as well, which is really fantastic.
Brilliant. So just double checking, Stu, can everybody see my big screen?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. It's always good to check. I've got too many screens open. Right, so what's an Apple Regional Training Centre? I don't know if any of you have been to one of these sessions before. I know that quite a few of you are new to me or new to our RTC, but Apple Regional Training Centres are basically, the whole MO is to build skills and confidence for all educators to use Apple technology inside and outside the classroom. We take that a little bit further here at the Prospect Trust RTC, in that we're actually thinking about leveraging any sort of technology within the classroom. We use iPads as our main vehicle. We're a one-to-one school, but we make sure that we build this community where we're sharing that best practice and inspire that excellence in using the iPad to enhance learning and teaching. So you can see, you can tweet us on @ProspectRTC. Stu will chuck quite a few things into the chat. We've got an Eventbrite page, and that's where you found us, hopefully. I did quite a huge mail shot to all the schools in Surrey and Hampshire, and I'll continue to do that. Hopefully some of you've got that, or that was passed down through either your head or the office. But if you like these sessions, then please give us a shout out on Twitter, or invite your colleagues and friends to come along, because we think we're really passionate, as I said, of building that community. Or email me on rtc@theprospecttrust.org.uk. Right, so what we're looking at today, we've done a bit of a welcome. I've introduced Stu and I. We've got we're going to look today at foundational skills for iPad. I believe that there's something for everybody in this session. Really is. Whether you've been using an iPad a lot, or you have never touched one, or you use it as a doorstop, what I want you to do at the end of today's session is be enthused about using the iPad and think, right, actually, I could do that. And you don't need anything special on your iPad after today's session, okay? Apple have this fantastic learning center, the Apple Teacher Learning Center, and we'll look at that towards the end of this session. There's plenty of time for questions. Stu will be bunging lots of stuff in the chat, so please engage in that conversation, and we can continue that conversation on Twitter should you wish to. Or actually, you can continue the conversation on Teams in the chat, which is great. And then we'll let you go to get on with the rest of your wonderful evening. So here we go. So what you'll need tonight, hopefully, you've got an iPad on your hands. It's a really good idea. You might want to follow along and work along with us as we work, or you might decide, actually, I'm just going to watch and see what we're doing. We're going to be using the camera. We're going to be using some accessibility tools. We're going to be using voice memos, and we're also going to be using notes all together to really think about deepening learning. So what's in it for you? Increased confidence. That's our whole MO. I want staff to be able to stand up in front of their classes and not panic about using this technology. I see it quite a lot when I go into lessons and people flap, and actually do simple things really often, and really think about how you're leveraging the technology. I want to give you some new ideas about integrating this technology into your lessons and the classroom, and I want to start you on that journey of completing that internationally recognized Apple teacher qualification. Okay, How does it enhance learning? So the iPad, we're going to be looking today about using the camera and the markup, and we're going to be asking you about how that could enhance learning. We're going to be adding some accessibility features and making sure that you know how to access these. We're going to be using the iPad to provide a range of different types of feedback, which is quite exciting. So some quick tips. It's all about combining lots of different things together to deepen that learning experience. It's not just about saying, right, today we're going to use the iPad. The kids will all go, oh yeah, great, fine. And you end up just doing the same thing. What I want you to do is think about really leveraging what you've got, that tool in front of you. If it's not the right tool to use, please don't use it. Please get pen and paper out and use that. Sometimes that's better. Okay, so if you don't use the skills you learned tonight, tomorrow morning, you'll forget them. You'll say, oh, there was this nice bloke. Yeah, he taught us about the iPad, but I can't remember it. And there was this other trampolining bloke, and he taught us about that. And actually, I can't remember any of this stuff. Use it and keep using it and get better at doing it. If you don't use it, you forget, don't you, Stu?
Very much so.
Yeah,
very much so.
You forget. We're great at forgetting stuff. There's so much more stuff that I forget. So Stu's put a question in the chat. So in what ways do you use your technology in your personal and work life now? Go for it. So anything at all, just get it in the chat. We had some brilliant things last night. We ran a session for local primary school shopping. Nice. Yeah.
Definitely use mine for shopping.
Yeah. So anything else, just chuck it in the chat. Tell us how you're using that iPad. Just is really good to get a gauge. So while you're all thinking, hopefully people are putting some stuff in there. Let's see, or maybe not. I don't know. Games, Stu? Oh, yeah. Shopping, planning, playing, emails. Nice.
Nice. Keeping in contact. Yeah. FaceTiming, things like that. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah. Netflix. Yeah. Pandemic is still sort of there, so we need to videos, planning, comms. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely spot
Brilliant.
on.
So that's spot on. So let's take it a little bit further, guys. So what's your experiences of how technology can deepen student learning? Ooh, quite profound. So let's tapestry.
Tapestry.
Ooh, fantastic. What's tapestry, Liz? I'm going to find that out. So stick that in the chat. Tell us what Tapestry is. Tapestry is our online learning journal accessed by staff via. Oh, I'd like to find out more about that. Ooh.
My youngest uses Tapestry at her
Does
school.
she?
Yeah.
Ah, it's a bit like we're a Google school, but we use Microsoft tools as well, and we use Apple tools. Yeah. In fact, we just choose the best tool that we want to use. So, deepen student learning. Go. Come on. Tell me about. Record observations. Videos.
Yeah, pictures.
Yeah.
Independent research.
Parents can access. Ooh, very nice. I like that.
So Liz, is that from using Tapestry that the parents can access those learning journals as well? If I'm right, I think that's how our school uses it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
So, some great things in there. Let's hope by the end of this session you can say, right, here we go. This is what we can do. So what are we going to be looking at today? We're going to start learning by using the camera.
Communication with parents.
We are going to then add or structure some learning by using the dock and restructuring the way that we're using our iPad. We're going to use notes and show you how to embed things back and forth from notes, really quick copy and paste. We're going to look at split screen, slide over, so that you can do all of that. We're going to capture learning by using screen record and accessing the control center. We are going to then support that learning by switching on and off accessibility features, which are pretty cool. And we are going to use some voice memos to look at how we could then use that voice memo to create or provide feedback for our young people. So, right, so this is where you need to get your iPads out if they're not already. So you get your iPads out. Hopefully you're ready to rock. I am going to switch on my iPad. So with a bit of luck, yes, Right, let's go to this screen. Look at that. There's my iPad. Right, so question. Here we go. First thing, give me how many different ways can you open the camera from your iPad? My iPad is off. Go. Tell me now. So stick it in the chat. How many different ways to open the camera? Go. Stick it in the chat. 2. Not bad, Pippa. Not bad. 2. What's the 2? So tell me what they are. Tell me what they are. Nikki's typing furiously. I can see her. I can see her fingers flying across the screen. I'm going to put that on. Oh, there I can. You can see me as well. That's quite good. All right, fantastic. Swiping left, opening the app. Oh, nice. I like it.
Log in and find the app on the home page. Okay.
Right, so I can tap and swipe. I always get the left and right mixed up. So if the iPad is locked, and this is where it's really cool, that any iPad that you've got access to, you don't need to be logged in. So all you have to do is swipe left, and then it's ready to go. So look at my camera's already started pointing up at what's going on up here. So, right, so that's one way. What else have we got, Stu? Swiping left
and opening the app.
Opening the app, yeah. So what about if I open the iPad properly?
Logging in and finding the app.
Yeah, find the app. So there's my camera. That's dead easy to find. Top tip, if you're using the iPad in the classroom mirrored to a board, don't do this. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. Just put your finger on the screen, pull down. Oops, not like that. Pull down and then type in camera. And then there it is at the top, and just literally tap camera, and then camera is open. It's ready to go. Fantastic. Really good. One other way to do it. Anybody know what it is? Nope. Okay, so this is where we had some issues last night, didn't we, Stu? Some issues last night. So get your finger up at the top right hand corner of the screen and then pull down. Can you see there at the top right? This is called the control center. Okay, it's not pull down from the middle. That's the notification center. You don't want that. You want to pull down from the control center. So just from that top right.
You do need to be right in the corner when you do that.
Yeah. So if you're even just that's not too bad. But the further along I go, see, I'm only about an inch into my iPad. So right up to the top, pull down, open the camera. Fantastic. I'm going to take a photo. So if I open my photo, if I look at that heap of wires and all sorts of garbage on the screen. So I'm just going to take a photograph of what's going on my screen. So there's my photograph. All right, so the first thing I'm going to then do with my photo there, I'm going to mark it up. So Stu's going to chuck that into the chat. So he's going to give you a question. How might using markup enable teachers to increase their capacity to give feedback? So how do we mark up? So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to click edit. I'm going to click the meatballs at the top, or as I hear on YouTube a lot, the ... So here it is. I'm going to click markup. Right, so markup, every photo you take, I've got live photo switched on. So markup allows me to switch that off, and it does it automatically. So only on still photos. So it opens the photo, and then I've got a suite of tools at the bottom of the iPad. How cool is that? So I use my Apple Pencil. You might not have an Apple Pencil, but you don't need an Apple Pencil. So a few things that I've got mine set so that at the moment, draw with fingers switched off. If that was switched on, I don't need my Apple Pencil to be able to draw on the screen. I could do it with my finger, and it's actually pretty good. Okay, so I can draw with my finger, but I tend, because I've got a pencil, I'm lucky that my school buy me one, that I can use my pencil. So I've got a number of tools. I've got a pencil tool here. I've got a highlighter tool here. Let's highlight. This is a screwdriver. So I could highlight the screwdriver, add a little bit of text with my pencil and put screwdriver. So that's quite nice. If I make a mistake with something, so those squiggly lines, they're quite annoying. So what I'm going to do, I can use my rubber and rub it out, but that's going to take me forever. So actually I could just lasso all of that and then press and hold on it, and let's see if I can just delete it. That's much easier. And then I could use my rubber just to get rid of that little bit there. So I've got a pen. Now, even just tapping on the pen, I can tap it once, tap it again, and I've now got, I can adjust the opacity of my pen so I can make it really thick or really sort of bold, or I can move it back to that, and actually you can't see me writing on the screen. That's a bit useless, isn't it? That's hopeless, Moran. So move that up to here, or I can make it really thick. You can see that there, that's quite nice. So I can play around with how I want my pen to look on the screen. Remember, this is my lasso tool, so I'm going to draw my lasso around that so it starts. And the cool thing about the lasso tool is that once I've lassoed it, I can move it around the screen if I like it. But I don't. I just want it gone. Delete. It's rubbish. I've got a highlighter, so I can press the highlight tool. It's set for yellow, but I could highlight in red. I could highlight in green. Or I could press my really funky button here and I could highlight in all these brilliant colors. And this color at the top, even say I wanted to highlight in a very specific color, I could click this paint dropper here. I can move this to a specific part of the screen. Say I want that color, and then that is the color of my highlighter. How cool is that? So I can then take that color and I can highlight with this. That's brilliant. We've just seen
one question, sorry, Mark, from Angela. How do you get into markup again?
Oh, brilliant, fantastic. Right, so Angela, right, so there's my photo. I've taken my photo. I click the edit button at the top. I click the ... button at the top. You can see where my pencil is. Doop, 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 right up the top here. Click the ... Click markup. And there we've got it. And it opens automatically at the bottom. Okay.
So you can do that from the thumbnail as soon as you've taken the image.
Yep.
You can click on that and that will open up the full screen picture and you've got the edit button, or you can go into your photo reel and find the photo that you want to mark up from that way as well.
Yep, absolutely. Just another little thing for you scientists in there or mathematicians in there, we've got a fantastic ruler capability on markup. So this ruler, I can move it with 2 fingers. Can you see I've got it on 0? So what I can do is take that and draw a line across my iPad. And then I can move that and I could do a 90-degree line and then draw another line. So I've got an axis that I can put that in. I could then use my ruler and then draw a 45-degree in yellow. So that's pretty cool if you want to actually draw a graph, and you could scale it. So if you put that in there, and these work in centimeters, so actually you could go around and you could put little marks where you need to go. Okay, you might end up getting something that looks really pretty cool, as opposed to doing all sorts of mad stuff with pen and paper, and you know what it's like, tracing paper. Let's get our rulers out, and then all, oh dear. So you could do it all inside the app, which is fantastic. The plus button allows you then to be able to access shapes. So I can add a shape straight in. So there's a shape. So I can move that around, and inside that shape, I could that's easy to put. So I could put that round my screwdriver. I could add a call out button and put that in. Very nice. I can add some arrows. Okay. I can move them around. Oops, that's my ruler. Don't want to do that. So there's my arrow. I need my finger. Can't find my finger. Sometimes my fingers just don't quite work. There we go. So tap on it. Tap the green button to be able to wiggle the arrow, which is quite nice. I can add text. So literally just click the text button, double tap on the text and say, this is my text. How cool is that? And then I can move that around, put that wherever I want it to go. There we go. I can add my own signature on there as well, which is very cool. This is a question from the Apple teacher, so remember all that information, ladies and gentlemen. And when you're finished with it, click done. Okay, so what I've now got is a picture that's got all sorts of information on it. So Stu, we put a question in the chat. So what sort of fantastic things did people come up with?
Okay, so I've actually put my own example in there, that we took a photo burst in PE.
Yeah.
Then picked the best picture and used markup to analyse body position during a skill. Saves using a performance analysis app, which you have to teach the students how to use. And you come back to it a couple of weeks later and they go, can't remember how to use that, sir. So you have to go through it all over again. Markup, they all know how to use it. It's really straightforward and simple. It doesn't need any additional apps being downloaded that they've deleted to create space and all of that sort of stuff. So it's really, really helped. And that photo burst obviously enables them to pick the best point of the skill. So
can you stick in the chat how you, it doesn't matter if you've never used it, how might you use it tomorrow? Stick it in the chat and then let me know. Because that's the real thing. I want to make you think about how the technology can be leveraged and used to really support that learning. Yes, Nikki's off. She's off. It's fantastic. So let's give you a little bit of thinking time. Superb. She's writing an essay. So Stu will stop me, so I'm going to get going. Okay, oh, look at that.
So we use this sort of function within Seesaw.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mark up for feedback, then label straight on.
Yeah.
We've been labeling plants. Would be great to photograph and then label straight on. Pippa, brilliant, love that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Nikki, annotate work photographed, pointing at certain important points.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Our staff use it to mark work. So sometimes if students do work in their books, they take a photograph and upload it to Google Classroom, then they use markup to annotate them and provide feedback, which is fabulous.
Angela's just said, rather than drawing out the science equipment, you can photograph it and then label it.
Yeah, absolutely. Why waste your time drawing lots of things when you can actually get a photo of the real thing? And then they've got that saved in their Photos app. Fantastic. Thank you.
Be useful for home learning.
Yeah, really good. Really good. So let's look at what I'm going to do is I want to put this photograph into notes. And you're thinking to yourself, well, how am I going to do that? There's a few different ways to do it. So I'm going to try and do it a nice, clever way. So I'm going to slide open the doc, and the doc itself is split into two sections. I've got this section here on the left hand side up to this little line is completely customizable. I can put whatever I want into the doc there. I can move things into there and drop them in. I'll show you how to do that. But this bit here is like your most recent apps. It's like your quick launch toolbar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and hold on notes because I had it open. Cunning. Planning ahead. Hey, Stu? Yeah. So I can press and hold on my notes, and what I'm going to do then is that I'm going to drag my notes onto the screen, and I'm going to sit my notes. Look at that. It's not going to let me put it alongside, so I'm going to sit that on top, and I'm going to make that slide over. So that allows me to be able to slide my notes across the screen. How do you think you could use slide over? Yeah, I'm just trying to catch Stu out because I was going to do split screen to start off with, but how could you slide over on top of an app? Some apps are full screen, just like the Photos app. Some apps allow you to be able to split the screen, so we can use slide over and full screen to do that. The cool thing about slide over is that I can slide it away and I can slide it back in again. Look at that. I can slide it away, I can slide it back in again, which is quite nice. So I've got a set of folders here. I'm going to make, I've got an RTC folder. So to make a folder, if I wanted to make a new one, I click on the plus folder and go RTC2, press save. So there's my RTC2. If I make a mistake and think, oh, I didn't actually mean to do that, just swipe left and tap the bin and it's gone. So I'm going to go into my RTC folder. I'm going to click the new note button at the bottom. I'm going to take that there and I've started a new note. Now, what I'm going to now do is just tap back on my Photos album. I'm going to close the camera because I actually want photos. So I'm going to open photos. I'm going to slide that open. I'm going to put notes because I know that I can put photos next door to notes. Now, if I want to put this photo into notes, I could click on the camera and then go about it in a really long-winded way. But actually, I'm just going to take that photo and I'm going to drag it and drop it into my notes. How cool is that? That is really quite simple to do. So, really easy. I might then, within my notes, think, right, okay, my teacher's told me to do today X, Y, Z, so I need to make a list of what I'm doing so that I can then check that list off as I'm going. So I'm going to click the little tick box at the top, and I'm going to create a list. Task 1, add photo. You can't spell. Always good. Add photo. If I press the return button, it then adds another level to my list. So markup photo. Brilliant. I can do that. What am I now going to do? So I'm going to add a website URL. You think, what is he talking about? So I could do that. So I'm going to tap that. What's the last thing I could do, Stu? What could I do? I'm catching him on the spot.
You are catching me on the spot.
He goes to sleep for a while. So what we need to do is just keep poking him to make sure he keeps going. So
you can select text and bring it into notes.
Oh, brilliant! Select text from a web page. Fantastic. Right. So I'm going to look at that. So I don't need photos, and this is called split view. So this bit here, I can split a quarter and 3/4. I could have photos as 3/4. I could have all sorts. And if I want to get rid of them, if I want rid of photos, I'll split and I pull that all the way, grab the bit in the middle and get rid of it. Now, unlike slide over, I can't get it back. It's gone. But my slide over is still there. It doesn't go away, unfortunately. It's like a bad smell. So there's my slide over. It's there. So I'm going to get rid of that. So task 1, take a photo. I'm finished that. Look at that. It puts it to the bottom of the list, which is great. Mark up. Oh, mark photo. Huh, epic fail. So if I tap on there, did you know you can use the iPad trackpad or spacebar as a trackpad? So what I can then do is tap on my text and I can move that by pressing and holding the spacebar and then moving that around to where I want it to go. So I'm going to put it there and put markup and then get rid of that. So I'm going to tick that off and say, fantastic. Add a website URL. So, right, so how am I going to do that? So I'm going to open Safari. I'm going to use that in split screen again. So I'm going to slide that open. There's Safari. It's in my dock. Don't need to worry about it. I'm going to stick it on split view. There, I've got the Apple Teacher Learning Center. Woohoo! We're going to look at that later because you're all going to be on that journey to Apple Teacher. Maybe not. So the URL is this menu button at the top or menu bar at the top. So if you wanted to do a search, I'd press the plus button and search in there. But actually, if you press and hold it on here, I can drag that and then splop it straight into my notes. And there it is. So if I want to open that, I can just tap on that and it opens Apple Teacher. How cool is that? So actually students, if they're doing some research and you say to them, right, tell me where you got that from, what have you, how, so they can actually curate all of that into notes. Copy and paste. They don't need to write down the URL. I don't know if I don't know about you, but I mean, we teach in a secondary school, and sometimes it is painful getting them to write down complicated URLs. If you're teaching in a primary school and they want to write down appleteacher.apple.com, that's going to take forever. So copy and paste, drag it straight in. Fantastic. Really, really good. Okay, so some fantastic things inside notes. Let me just take you to, I mean, I've already shown you the markup tools. So if you look at the top, all I have to do is I'm going to get rid of Safari. Bye Safari for a minute. If I click on the tab at the top, opens up the markup tools. Don't need that. I could press it for that to go away. I can add a photo straight in. Not only that, you can scan documents in here. You can take photos, you can choose photos. So you might have taken loads of photos and then you want to put them in. Literally just click the camera button and off you go. You've then got a series of other things that you can do. Now, I quite like this. How many of you think that your students just put a load of old nonsense because it's just a white screen? Tap the dot, 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 click lines and grids, and then choose what you want to look like. You could choose, there you go. I've then got some nice big wide space lines that I can put text in. So if you're lucky enough to have an Apple Pencil, I can click up the pencil and then I can start to write. Ooh, ooh dear. Come on, Maureen. Oh, there. Ooh. Ooh. You know, sometimes it just doesn't quite go the way you want it to go, Stuart. Hi, my name is Mark. Pretty cool. Right. So some nice tools inside there. You can search on all your notes. You can share notes, send copies of notes. You can move notes from different folders. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
And just going back to the markup tools, obviously we saw the ruler and we talked about drawing the axes and the graphs. You saw there as well, you can put grid paper on, so you can have sort of the 5mm grid paper that we have in maths, and you can draw your graphs on that, have your plot points, everything really simply. It takes out so much of the time and guesswork.
Absolutely.
As well.
Fantastic. So we talked about the control center earlier, and if I open the control center, you can see my control center probably looks different to yours. I've got a few apps in here that you might have never seen before. So what I'm going to then do in here is that I'm going to look at this one here. This is called screen recording. I'm going to show you how to put that into the control center. I'm going to swipe that shut. I'm going to stick my finger on the screen, pull down, click settings, and then open settings. On the left-hand side of the screen, underneath General, there's a button that says Control Center. So I click Control Center. And then at the top of the Control Center, it says Included Controls. And at the bottom of the Control Center, I've got more controls. So you can see that I've got the screen recording app or button already there. If I wanted to delete that, I can click the little minus button and remove it. It doesn't remove it from the iPad, it just dumps it down to the bottom. So if I want to add the screen recording, so there it is, added back up to the control center. I press the 3 lines, excuse me, and I can move it to wherever I want it to go. So mine's roughly about there and makes life a bit easier. So if I look at the control center, there it is there. So I'm going to use the control center here. So I'm going to use the screen recording here to show you why I'm doing that. So this is a brilliant feature of the iPad. It's baked in, it's added to every iPad, they can all do it. Once you're in the control center, I've just pulled down from that top right again. And we had somebody on the session last night, didn't we, Stu, that at the very end of the session, after an hour and a bit, she said, I can open the control center. And we all fell about laughing. She was so excited she could do it. It was fantastic.
And that's why it's so important to remember that where the sort of battery information and everything is in the corner, that's kind of your guide for where you need to drag down from. But if you have got a screen protector on, it can get in the way a little bit.
It does.
And also if you've got quite a thick screen protector, which I think this colleague had, it actually obscures some of the touch gestures right at the edge. So you have to adjust your assistive sort of things, which we'll have a little look at later on.
So here's my top tip for the control center. So inside, I'm going to click on the screen recording button, long press on it, don't short press. The default is that it saves your recording to photos and the microphone is off. Okay. Now you might think that's fine. I don't want to listen to my voice, but actually what you might want to do is to record a really great video to show your students how to do something so that they can be independent rather than you telling them all the time. So my top tip is every time long press on, oh, see, it starts going long press and then switch the microphone on. When I press start recording, you get 3 seconds to get your screen ready. Okay, so I try and press start recording, tap, tap, my screen's ready to go. A little red button appears at the top of the screen. Sometimes, depending on the app you're in, that little red button is not there. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to finish your recording. So in my recording, I can say, right, okay, I would like to add the QR code scanner to my control center. So to do that, I need to then go to settings on my iPad, click control center. I'm going to slide down to the bottom. I'm going to click the button, the plus button beside code scanner, and I'm going to add it up to the top into my included controls. If I want to move that, I press the 3 lines and then place that wherever I want that to go in the control center.
Come on, Mark, get it right. It's not the 3 lines, it's the hamburger.
Sorry, it's the hamburger. Yeah, you're right. It is the hamburger. So we're a Google school and we've got 3 things, and our network manager likes food. And we call this the hamburger, and the ... we call the meatballs. So thank you, Stu. You've just reminded me. Very kind. Yeah. If I want rid of the code scanner, I could just click the little minus button and press remove. To stop my screen recording, I can just tap the red button at the top, or if you can't see it and you're panicking thinking, oh, I'm recording something, where is it? I'm not sure. Just open the control center and then tap stop. It automatically saves your video straight to the Photos app. Depending how long your video is, you have to be patient and wait for it to appear. It will appear in a little second at the top of the screen. So Stu's going to stick a question in the chat.
It's already there.
It's already there. How might you integrate learning or integrate using the screen record to support your learning? Stick your points in the chat. So I'm hoping that that's appeared in my Photos app. There it is. I've got a video, 1 minute 29. When you open a photo or a video from the Photos app, the default is that the sound is off. So if you want to listen to it, to finish, the sound is back on again. Your recording. So in my recording, I can say, right, okay, I would like to add. Right, brilliant. So what have we got,
so
Stu?
Nikki has said recording the lessons so children can refer back if unsure or forgotten a step.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was something that I used a lot during lockdown.
Yeah.
Before we'd sort of set up the live teams and what have you, screen recording of a presentation that I was doing. If I was doing it in Keynote or in PowerPoint, I could use my Apple Pencil and write all over it as if I was on a whiteboard, interactive whiteboard at school. Yeah. And the students could get all of the information. They could pause it as they needed to. If they missed something, they could go back. All of those things. It's really, really helpful. Pippa can use to show how to use an app to be able to show on the interactive whiteboard so all can follow.
Yeah. Exactly
that. Evidence of children's phonics examples in sentences.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
So combining
really great.
the markup
yeah.
with the screen record. Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. So if you think about marking up, opening notes, screen recording yourself as you're writing and speaking, then the children get to hear and see how you're doing it. How great is that? And the good thing is you only need to do it once, because you can then share it with the children and then they can be completely independent. I'm all for that. You can then intervene in the classroom with those that really need the help, rather than standing at the front and pointing and working from the front. I don't work from the front of my classroom. I usually work from the floor or beside somebody that I know that needs that support. So there you go. Fantastic. Well done, guys. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. I mix it up. I must admit, it's really difficult, I find, sometimes to sort of just get away from that mold. I'm trying something this year with my GCSE students where I'm sort of blending the learning between the traditional me teaching the content and the students having that ownership and working independently. So it is a real challenge. I appreciate that, but it can certainly help. And lockdown certainly opened my eyes to how we can use this technology to push that forward. And screen record was probably my best friend in lockdown 1.
Yeah, really good, really good.
I do struggle though with the concept of talking whilst I'm writing with my pencil.
Yeah,
I'm the same in class. I'm writing on the board and I stop talking.
yeah.
I really struggle with that.
Fail.
I'm still practicing.
Yeah, you can do that. Right, I'm going to tick off add a website URL. So I'm there, select text from a web page. We've got that. But what I can then do, if I want, I can take that video, I can dump that straight into my notes. So that's there. When I click play, it's there. So actually you can curate everything inside notes. That's great. So I need Safari, don't I, Stu?
Yep.
Right, so let's open Safari. So I'm going to drag open Safari. There's not much text here, Stu. What will I look for?
Oh, let's look for the Cold War.
Ooh, the Cold War. Right.
Not the old war, the Cold War.
Oh goodness. Sorry. The Cold War.
We had geography last night. We better do history, otherwise.
Oh, we better do.
Be,
right. So, Britannica.com. Yeah, fantastic. Oh my word. Right. So I want a big chunk of text. Right. So I'm just going to slide that out. Right. So I've got some text here. Now, I don't advocate copy and pasting text for learning, because it's not a great thing to do. What I do advocate is getting you to think about or getting students to be able to read, synthesize, and then rewrite what they've read. What I would like to do, you can see on this website, the one that I've picked, it's got all sorts of rubbish up here. If I click this button at the top, the AA button, and then tap on show reader view, that's a bit easier for me to read. So I can now read that. Now the iPad, because I've got it switched on, allows me to be able to select text, and I'm just going to take that sentence and speak it.
Cold War, the open yet restricted rivalry that developed after World War II between the United States and the Soviet Union and their respective allies.
How great is that? So let me show you how to switch that on before I copy this text into my document. So I'm going to go to my settings again. Now, there's a top prize for anybody that knows where that might be. So, settings, anybody know? No, we'll just keep going. Click accessibility, click spoken content, and then switch on speak selection. Really great. You can then go down a little bit further, highlight content. I've got mine set on words. Some of the students like them on sentences. Some of them have them on words and sentences. So you can then decide how you want those words to come out. You can change the colors of the words based on the students. You can change the sentence colors as well. Really, really great. What I found I was doing a session today with a group of year 9s, and they were telling me how that spoken content really allows them to be able to keep up in lessons. Some teachers just give them loads and loads of stuff to read, and they panic and think, I can't read that. They get the headphones out, plug them in, and then read what's there. So there it is. I've got my text. I literally just tap on it and press speak.
And they can adjust the speed of the reading as well. I mean, last night we had a man speaking to us very robotically. Tonight it was a female robot, and it's been obviously changed up a little bit. It depends on the website, but it is quite robotic, but it is a massive help if you've got a student who struggles to digest a lot of written information. So
I would always advocate, if you're an iPad school or if you've got iPads at school, you've either got some headphones you can use in the classroom, or they've got a pair of headphones in their bag. So I've got some text highlighted. All I want to do is drop that text into here. Now, you might do that and click on that, press copy, and then paste. I'm a bit lazy. So I literally press and hold it. Can you see there's a big box around it? I just drag it and then drop it in there, and there's that text. And the best bit is that the links are still there. So if I click on United States, it opens up the link. So it keeps all that formatting. How amazing is that? Fantastic. Right, last thing.
And of course, you advocate there as well, if they are quoting bits from a website.
Yeah.
Certainly as you go higher up the the ladder, make sure that you're encouraging them to drag and drop that website, that URL, in underneath it as well. So
where did you get it from? Absolutely. Where did you get it from? Right, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to swipe that gone. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to open up voice memos. Now, voice memos, really, really powerful app. It's built into every iPad. It should be installed. There it is there. So that voice memo opens there. You can see I've got lots of voice memos. If I click the little navigate button at the top, I can create folders for what I want to do. I might click folder and create an RTC memo, press save there, and inside my RTC I can add memos. So I could go in there, click the red button, and the great thing is, so the way that I use it, I'm a music specialist, so I might be giving some feedback to students about the piece of music they're working on or the project they're working on. And actually, usually what you do is you give them feedback, you walk away and they go, what did he say? Oh, what? Eh? And then they've forgotten within seconds. So I get their iPad out and I record my voice memo on their iPad. So I can literally click the red button and it starts to record. So Stu, you need to remember to make sure that in your piece of music that you add some really great instruments. Okay, if you need thinking time, press the pause button. Don't press done and then start again. So you can start and stop. I can press resume. In addition, make sure that you balance all the sounds by adjusting the volume levels for each track. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's done. Okay, so there's my voice memo. I can play that back. And it starts to record. So it's Stu. I could edit it as well, but I'm not going to bother editing it. I'm happy with that. What am I going to do with that voice memo? I'm going to slide it up. I'm going to move my notes. I'm going to put it there, and I can take that voice memo, drag and drop, and dump it into notes, and there it is. And it starts to record. So Stu, you need to remember. So nothing we've done this evening using the iPad, nothing we've done needs any additional tools. It's all baked into the iPad. So let's take you then to the Apple Teacher Learning Center. So the Apple Teacher Learning Center is a fantastic resource. Anybody can access it, anybody can join it. Just for you this evening, I've deleted my entire profile on the Learning Center. So I've deleted.
It was very painful watching it.
Every badge that I've done, so it's all gone. And I'm going to sign up again. So I'm going to click the sign up button at the top here. You need a personal Apple ID. So it could be some of your schools are giving you a managed Apple ID. You need to make sure that it's a personal one. And the reason for it being a personal one is that it allows you to take it to any school that you work in. It's an internationally recognized qualification, and it's really quite straightforward, but there's some fantastic resources on here. Yeah. So I'm going to put in my own personal Apple ID. So let's click go. I'm going to put in my password. Let's hope we don't see it.
I have put the link to the Apple Teacher Learning Center in the chat as well. So please, if you are interested in getting this is an internationally recognized qualification.
Yeah.
It can go with you, as Mark said, if you use your personal Apple ID, wherever you are, whatever school you're at. And it's something that more and more, I think, schools are going to be looking for in terms of taking technology into the classroom. It's one of those highlights, I guess, that can stand out on your CV today. It's really valuable to have, just to give you that knowledge and understanding. Yes, it's Apple focused, but what I would say is that a lot of the skills that you learn through these programs are transferable, and it's a starting point. The amount of stuff that I've learned and taken across to my PowerPoints and my Google Classroom, my Google Docs, all of those sorts of things, and vice versa, has been invaluable to my teaching. So really worth a look. And even if you don't do the badges, to work through the content and have a resource, this is really valuable as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stu. So you get access to the Apple Teacher Learning Center. You can choose a path of where you want to go. There are badges for iPad or for Mac. There are some really, really lovely chunked information or based on everything we've done tonight. I'm going to click done here. I'm then going to click on this button that says foundational skills. I can scroll down and click earn badges for iPad. And then we've got a badge for iPad, Pages, Keynote, Numbers, iMovie, GarageBand. We're going to be doing all of these on the Tuesday evening for the next few weeks. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to click on the iPad badge, and we're going to look at trying to get our badge tonight on the iPad. Now, I don't know if any of you have signed up to the Apple Teacher Learning Centre. Has anybody done that? Stick it in the chat. If you haven't, you might want to sign up and then stick it in the chat when you eventually learn or get your iPad badge. That would be really great to sort of see your journey. Post it on, brilliant, Liz. So post it on here, post it on Twitter and say, I've got my badge. Yeah. The session we did last night with our local primary school was great. There were whoops and laughs all over the school as people got their badges, which was great.
Pippa said she did hers last summer, haven't used it as much as she would like, but picked up some tips.
Ooh, very nice.
Nikki will be doing it. Looks good. I want badges, Angela says.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, we worked through with the group last night, didn't we? And
yeah.
A few of them got onto it straight away. And yeah, literally as we were finishing up, you just heard this almighty cheer go up from down the corridor. And it was one of their colleagues who had got their first badge.
Fantastic. So you can see they've got the skills in here across the so if you think, right, okay, I want to know more about Safari or photos or camera, you can do that. You can see all the different things we've done. Actually, most of this tonight. We haven't looked at maps. Don't worry about that for tonight.
We haven't looked at maps. We haven't looked at screenshots.
We haven't looked at screenshots.
There's a couple of
maybe
ways.
We'll look at screenshots. Maybe it'll give us a question on screenshots, Stu.
Yeah.
Maybe it will. Let's see. So
I think we had a question last night when we.
Yeah, we did. So let's click earn your badge. So let's see what we've got. So you're capturing quick thoughts during a staff meeting. Which of the following app lets you take handwritten notes, sketch ideas, scan a printed document? You should know the answer to that. Get it in the chat now. Go. Yes!
Angela, Liz, well done.
So notes, submit answer. Is it correct? Is it correct? Here we go. Come on, internet. Yeah, we're correct. Fantastic. Next question. Right, fantastic. Oh, your students are developing early literacy skills on iPad. Which of the following can students use to have selected text read aloud? You've done that. We've done that tonight. Which one is it? Which one is it? Who's going to be first?
This is a longer one to type.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if your spelling's rubbish. I've got COVID dyslexia when I type. Speak selection,
Angela wins that one.
Wow, speak selection is
literally
correct.
Split second.
Fantastic, well done. Speak selection is it. Nicely done. We're on 2 for 2. Right, you want to quickly access your classroom blog from the home screen. How do you add an icon to your home screen for frequently used websites? Let's do that on the iPad. Ho-ho! Right, so here's my iPad. So I'm going to open up Safari. I'm going to close the Cold War. I'm going to go to the Apple Teacher Learning Center, and I'm going to add a link to my home screen. So what I do, I've got my iPad open, I've got the Safari open, I've got the website open. I'm going to click the share button at the top. So I click the share button, and then you look at it and you go, there's nothing there, but there's lots of hidden stuff down on here. So I'm going to click the button that says add to home screen. You could edit the text in here should you wish to and call it whatever you want. So you could call it Apple Teacher Learning Center, but actually it's too much. And then when you finish, click add. And then on the home screen, look at that. I've got now a really funky badge with Apple Teacher on there. Woohoo! Dead easy. Right, let's go back. Can you remember the order? So what's number 1? Open Safari. Oh, this is good. So it's done it for us. From the website, tap the share icon. Oh, we got. That was the right order. Yeah. Right. So edit the default name. No. So we're going to take that and we're going to move. Tap add to home screen. Edit the default name of the icon. Tap add. Submit. Am I right? Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
3 out of 3. Next question. Right. Colleague is teaching about the parts of a flower and wants students to label these on their photos. Which of the following can they use to mark up a photo? Stick it in the chat. Which one? Choose all that apply. We did this at the beginning of the session. Who was paying attention? Always good to put teachers on the spot at the end of a long day.
Definitely.
So what do you think? Stick it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think. Lots of thinking, lots of people frantically looking at their iPad and thinking, what can I do? How do you use markup? Let me show you. So I'm just going to go then back to my iPad. There's my iPad. Let's go to photos. There's photos. Somebody's posted something.
Text, shapes, drawings, text, drawings, text, drawing.
Okay. So, so I'm going to go back to, there's a photo of my home screen. If I tap on it, click edit, click the markup button, it's going to make it so I can, what are my options? So I can write on it and mark up on it.
Magnify.
Magnify. Where's the magnifier, Stu? Where how do I do that?
The plus.
The plus. There you go. Magnify. I can add my signature. I can add text. I can add shapes. Anything else? All of them, Philippa, Pippa. I've got, I'm getting names wrong all over the place. All of them. Fan-dabby-dozy. Right, brilliant. So you can do all of that. Let's press submit. Are we right? 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Can we get 5 out of 5? Here we go. Oh, we haven't done this.
We haven't done this tonight.
Oh,
you better
right.
show them how to do this one.
Right, okay. So you've taken a photo that's too dark. Okay. Which of the following actions help you to manually improve the color and exposure in one step? One step? Right, so let's open the camera. I'm going to use the control center to do it. I'm going to click the control center. I better go back to my iPad. So I'm going to slide that up a little bit so you can see what's sort of going on under the screen. If I move that, right, so can you see the yellow box on the screen? So if I tap on the screen, can you see there's a little sun? Now, if I put my finger on the screen, I can move that up and I can make the exposure lighter or darker.
Now we can see it.
Yeah, now you can. It's gone. I'm about to make it disappear. So there we go. So I can bleach it right out. So actually I can adjust it. That's about right. Bash. Take my photo. That's it. Amazing. Right. What did I do? Oh, no, wrong way. What do I need to do? Which one is it? Put 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the chat. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Ooh, we're thinking 1.
1. Yes. Yes.
Lots of ones.
Lots of ones. There we go.
Next to the focus area, drag up or down on the screen. Submit the answer.
I reckon you got 5 out of 5, Mark.
Well done. Finish. I've got my first badge. So hopefully that will show you it's really quite straightforward. If you find you think, actually, I got some questions wrong and I'm not really sure why, go back to the iPad, scroll down, go into the area, because it will tell you what it's asking you to do the badge on. And then you could say, so for instance, screenshots. Let's go to screenshots. And then you might think, right, okay, we haven't looked at screenshot, but you can then work through and it tells you what to do and then shows you how to work through that. Okay.
I think the key thing there as well is for screenshots is to bear in mind what version of iPad you've got.
Yeah.
If you've got one with a physical home button, like on the screen there, you can press and hold that with the power button. It all works together. Yeah. Brilliant. If you've got an Apple Pencil and you haven't got that physical home button, it's even easier. You just drag up from the bottom left corner of the screen and you take your shot, your screenshot, really simply, just like that.
So, and then you can save it to photos or delete it. I'm going to show you one other way of doing that. Right, so if we click on there and then click on accessibilities and then click on touch and then click on assistive touch and then switch that assistive touch on. Look at my assistive touch. It adds a little button, but there's loads of stuff on here that I don't want. Click customize top menu, change that back down to one icon, tap the icon, and then think, right, okay, I just want to set it up so that it takes a screenshot. Excellent. Right, that's that done. Okay, I can then go to here. I can press this little button here, and it takes a screenshot. How cool is that? That is much easier, because I see lots of students pressing the home button and the off button, and they don't quite get them in the right time. And if they've got little tiny hands and arms, they get really confused. So that's a really good top tip of accessing.
You end up with Siri talking to you multiple times across the classroom because
somebody's
pressed
the home button
or whatever, don't you? So that's a fantastic tip as well.
So there we go. So we've looked at Apple Teacher. Hopefully, once you get your own Apple Teacher, stick it in the chat for me. Let me know that you've got your badge, and hopefully you'll come along to some of our other sessions and earn all of your badges and make you a much more confident, competent user of the iPad in the classroom. Any questions or anything that anybody would like to ask? You can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you'd like to. You've got us for as long as you want us. Stu and I can talk for England and Scotland. So anything you'd like to ask about anything we've looked at, or stick it in the chat.
How can I access the recording of the session?
So the recording of the session will be on our YouTube channel, and I will send you that recording. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, because actually Stu and I were having a discussion about this, we want people to come along and be part of this community so that actually you can ask questions. It's fine to be able to watch recordings. So I'm going to make it available to you, but I'm not going to make it publicly available yet. It will be publicly available maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, but I'll make it available to you at some point tomorrow. How's that? Great question. Thank you, Liz. Any other questions?
By all means, unmute yourselves
and ask. Yeah,
ask
absolutely.
If you do think of any questions after the session, don't worry about it. You can pop them in the chat. We'll still be manning the chat. I've popped the Prospect Trust RTC Twitter feed link in the chat earlier on as well. Please post your questions on there.
Yeah.
We can start a dialogue on there as well. Absolutely fine, no problem at all.
Yeah.
We man both of those. So any questions that you think of after you leave tonight, that's absolutely fine.
Stick them in, ask. I'll just go through. So Stu said you can book any of our other sessions. Click on the Eventbrite link. I think Stu's put it in the chat already, hasn't he?
I haven't as yet.
But he will do in a little second. Our upcoming workshops, what I want you to do, they're all about Apple, but I would like you to take out those little colorful resources, so Pages, Numbers, iMovie, GarageBand, Apple Classroom, Quizlet, Keynote. Take them all away, because as we said at the beginning, these are all transferable skills. We might be focusing on the iPad, but you could use anything to do that. So it's just getting you to think differently about how you construct learning opportunities for the children that you teach. So there's some really great stuff coming up. I look forward to seeing you in any or all of the sessions. That would be fantastic. As I said, Stu and I will be around to answer any questions at the end. So we're just going to sit and chat away to ourselves. If you want to unmute and ask any questions, absolutely fine. I hope you've enjoyed the session. And if you have enjoyed the session, then just spread the love, let people know, and hopefully we'll have even more people on next week. We should have had 20 on tonight, or 22 on tonight, but hey ho, some people get stuck. So if you are time to go home, some of you are still at school, then please don't hesitate, just say cheerio, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. So thanks very much. See you next time.